Hey guys, my name is Keyvan Morseli. I go as Coach K, and I have the fighter's heart. Why do I have a fighter's heart, and how I achieved that was from not that I'm a product of I'm an amazing athlete. I never was. I really worked hard for it. My upbringing was very lovable, very loving parents, but it always was also something I was never there in presence. I always wanted to be somewhere else. I always dreamed about being somebody else. I realized today that was me not being confident in myself. So the only thing I have was my own desires and the heart of what I wanted. And that's how I achieved my fighter's heart. So I was born and raised in Sweden. My parents are American Iranian, settled in Sweden. I was born there, and I was raised there. And it's crazy because I'm a foreigner there. Even if I was born there and my parents lived there many years, I'm the foreigner. I don't look like blonde, blue-eyed guys. And for many years, that was a great tool to have because I didn't want to be like anybody else. But eventually that takes a toll on you. But so I was born and raised there, and I can't complain. Sweden is a perfect country in many ways, but America is my home. I came to America now over 15 years. I've been here most of my adult life, most of my mature life, should I say. I matured in America because America is the, what do you call America? Is the what dream comes true, right? But you have to work for it. It makes you hustle. It makes you wake up, and there is nobody helping you. Sweden is a very socialist country. If you don't have a job, they help you. If you don't have this, they help you. America is not like that. You have to hustle for it. My weight loss journey, 2017, started by me hitting rock bottom of not being able to lie to myself anymore. Honest to God, I couldn't lie anymore. I couldn't tie my shoelaces. I was up to 406 pounds. And I was eating 3 pizzas a day, hiding boxes. And I was ordering from different pizzerias because it was embarrassing to order 3 of them at the same time every day. And I was hiding in boxes so my wife or girlfriend, whoever I was with, that she wouldn't see it, so I could go out and eat with them again. So to the backstory of that is because how I was raised. And my mom was always home with me, but my dad was never present. He was present in a very much way, but he had a job that could allow him to be at home. And when they argued, she coped with it with food. So she was giving that to me. So I was coping with my pain and my depression with food, right? So I was overeating to numb a feeling, and I could pass out for a couple of hours and then wake up and eat again. It was very destructive. It's like a mechanism that keeps you. Today I know what it is. It sucks. In my breaking point, it sucks because I'm reliving when you ask me this in my feelings. All my life, I've been providing for people because I was never enough. And when I couldn't provide anymore, I overpromised to give them what they wanted so they could choose me. And eventually, you can't keep all your promises. At the end, I was selling air castles. Yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. Not all of it was a lie. Because why? Because I was so miserable in myself because I didn't believe that nobody wanted me who I was. So I was over-promising. And eventually, that air castle would pop and it comes down. And I realized that my journey, I'm good enough who I am. Whoever I am, right? But I have to understand and believe it myself. There was during that time I went through a hard divorce, and it was traumatic. And after that, I decided to take this journey and do it. So the only thing that matters is yourself. I'm sorry, I have kid. Yes, I do. I have a daughter, beautiful, love her, but I'm more important than her. And people wonder why I'm saying those words when I say it, because if I'm not my best self, she will have a miserable dad. If she has a miserable dad, she will have a deadbeat dad, as I was. If you want to solve the problem, go to the problem. Do not fix around the bullshit of being the stereotype dad. So I decided to get my six-pack so I could be who I was supposed to be. And I know six-pack doesn't solve all your problems, but it solves the problem that you wake up and you see yourself in the mirror and not be miserable. So I didn't want to go to gyms. I was ashamed of myself, right? So, and I couldn't. Basically 406 pounds is not light. So I had a treadmill. That treadmill would not work with 406 pounds. So after 30 minutes, it would make crazy sounds. So I had to give it a rest and then go back on it again. And there is a picture of it. I have a small fan bike I bought on Craigslist because meanwhile, the treadmill was cooling down. I was on the fan bike. So yeah, and it's tiny. And if you see me on top of it, you know, it looks, I have a video of it. I can give it to you guys, but yeah, so I was doing that. So I was just walking and doing that. I have a background, right? I know what sports is. I know what athletes are. I know what diet is. My problem was none of that. I had all the knowledge. My problem was the mental side of it, right? So slowly I got into it and I started keeping a journal. Keeping a journal about like why I started and how I started. So I've write that journal down, right? So that was what I was doing, and that's how I started. My motivation came from my pain. If you look at my Instagram, if you look at how I speak to people, I barely use motivational quote. I think that's for suckers. I'm sorry. You know, for me, motivational is something temporary. It's just the kickstart. It has to be obsession. It has to be that pain that you understand you worth nothing. That was the pain I felt. You know, people don't know. We are very alone. Men, especially men, we can't express our feelings because it's not manly, right? So in that garage, what kept me going was like, I'm gonna build myself a machine that nobody can say I didn't make it myself. That was my motivation. That was my obsession. I didn't quit because I wanted to become something. When I started thinking about coaching people, coaching has always been in part of my life since I was a youth athlete. And my previous job was that I was a scout for hiding athletes. So I always been into sports. I always love to inspire people, push people, right? However, the most important person you should push is yourself to the extreme every day. But that was what I was missing, right? So when I started getting into this journey of getting more and more healthy and in shape, I wanted others to feel the joy I felt. Because honestly, that dopamine, the serotonin that you produce when you're on that treadmill and it becomes easier and easier, you tell people this is achievable. My job is a professional coach. I have over 200 clients. I work with them very closely, online, in person. I have group classes I do sometimes for motivational. How I started was with one old ass fan bike, a treadmill for 200 from Craigslist. And the first client that paid me, I bought rubber mats. Second month that paid me, I bought dumbbells, and then put more and more in there, battle ropes, all of that. So I have videos of that garage. It was my temple. The pain that I felt was what I caused myself. Nobody else caused that pain. I'm not blaming anybody else. But the pain that I went through, it was suicidal. It was terrible. And I can see A lot of people are recognizing in their eyes what they're going through, but sometimes we wanna cover it, right? We don't want to talk about it because it's so taboo and so stigmatization about it. So, but a lot of people tell me like, shit, I don't want to even live anymore. And it's all about appearance, and there's nothing wrong with that. Appearance it's very important because you need to be feeling good about yourself. If you look good, you feel good, you behave, it goes hand in hand. You can't be the best dad, best husband. Eventually that runs out, dude. Yeah, what I needed to hear was the truth. I needed to hear the truth. Like, okay, Keyvan, you suck. Honestly to God, you suck. All the promises you made these couple of years have been empty. You wanted it. I understand you wanted to make those promises because you wanted it, but you couldn't provide it. And anybody that listens to this will say, what the? I mean, it sounds terrible. It is. But you doing the same thing right now, sitting and listening to this tape while you're not doing what you're supposed to do. Even if you're in shape, you are wasting that time that you should be out hustling. You should be spending it with your loved ones. You should be creating something greater than yourself. Do something. Stop feeling sorry for yourself because nobody gives a fuck about you. She left. Whatever I had left. I didn't have a house left. I didn't have a car left. I had nothing left. So I had to build from the bottom again. And thank God for that, because today that taught me a lot. So even if you're hitting rock bottom, for many of us are, that rock bottom is the place you build most character.